You're watching Around Town with Henry Dormann.
Around Town is sponsored by Chemung Canal Trust Company. They're really nice people. Trust is their middle name. Service is their motto. And I like them a lot, and that's why I bank there. If you ever come by to look me up, I'll be in the vault. Safe place. What don't you know about boats? How can you save money on boats? How do you get the best boat that you like for the family? There's a place that can tell you all those answers, and this is Mike Hiller, who is with Smith Boys. Have you ever heard such a name? Smith Boys. How many boys are there?
There are two brothers.
Two brothers. And
Jeff and Brad Smith.
And I guess the father founded it?
Actually, it was their grandfather who started the business back in the 30s.
And why did they come up with the name Smith Boys?
Well,
it fits very well, doesn't it?
His two sons actually started in the business as well. They were originally an auto parts store, and they went to a trade show and decided that boats were very interesting, and they just transitioned right into boats from there.
Now, people who are tuned in, where can they call you? Is there a website? And why should they deal with you? And there are all kinds of boat places up and down. And I'm calling it boats rather than ships because you're dealing with smaller vessels.
Well, Smith Boys has 7 locations throughout New York State. We've had a long history of dealing with customers, selling boats.
And they're rich.
They are absolutely rich. You got it. We offer a great service. We treat our customers like family. With so many locations throughout New York State, customers can rest assured that wherever they are in New York State, we can service them.
How far are your places?
We have locations all the way from North Tonawanda, our corporate headquarters, through Lake George on the eastern side of the state.
You're very good. Have you done this before?
I have not.
You have not?
No.
Well, you're very good at it.
Really?
You should consider doing more of this.
Oh, I don't.
We're sitting in a boat.
Yes.
And this is one of the boats he wants. He's got boats for sale, for rent, for sale, for housing in the off-season. And you need to tell us everything that you have. And what is this boat? And this is the one you want to sell. That's the one you want to sell. You really want to sell all of them, but these are two that have great bargains.
Yes.
I knew he'd say that. It's all yours. Tell them how to come by and make a fortune.
Okay. Well, visit us at www.
He said, did you hear him say okay? Just like that. Take it away.
Okay. Well, visit us at www.smithboys.com or call us at 585-374-2384. We have Sea Ray, Berkshire, Bayliner, Malibu boats, Axis boats. We have a vast selection throughout our 8-dealer network, 7-dealer network. Right here, we're sitting on a Malibu. Next to us is an Axis. We have a full showroom of boats. We'd be glad to have your business.
How did you find out so much about boats?
Well, I've been a lifelong boater myself. My father got me into boats. I've taken a passion for it, and I love the sales process with the customer and seeing a customer go out happy.
And you also sell paddles and canoes?
We do
I see
not
you got
sell.
a pair of paddles over
well,
there.
That's basically just accessories.
Safety?
Yep.
Safety in a regular motorboat.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
The one thing that always bothered me about motorboats was that you had to get in. I used to have one on weekends. We'd go out on Cayuga Lake.
Okay.
And every time before we went, I had to push a button for the exhaust fan to blow out.
The blower motor, yeah.
Blower motor. And I'd have to sit there like for 5 minutes with this thing on, waiting, and my guests wanted to go, and it was frustrating as the dickens. Is that still something you have to do?
It is something you should do. What it does is exhausts all the gasoline vapors out of the motor.
And if you don't do it, the boat blows up.
It could, potentially, yes.
I hate that.
Well, they haven't devised a way really to get around that, so we're still doing it.
Now, with all that you know about boats and the fact that nobody's devised this, why couldn't we come up with an idea that would make a fortune?
That's true. Maybe that's something we ought to work on.
It's a good idea. Well, you start.
Okay.
All right? It seems to me that with all the science, there must be some way that this could be done.
Yeah, you certainly would think so.
There you go. We're in business.
All right.
You better tell them more because we're going to be very busy soon going into a new production. So you better tell us more about what they can do in saving money when you're buying a boat. Used boats better? Is there a season when it's cheaper?
Okay.
If you were buying a boat, what recommendations would you give to yourself?
If I was looking for a new boat, I'd make sure that I identify my usage correctly. if I was a family, a pontoon's a great option. Whether it's going out with the family, enjoying tubing, water sports, a bow rider would be a great option for you. A really upcoming boat in water sports with these wakeboard boats is a new fashion. It's getting very much popular as more and more people get exposed to wake surfing and wakeboarding. These boats, the market for this boat is really starting to take off. Here at Smith Boys, we offer great value. We have 7 locations throughout New York State. We handle storage, slips, gasoline, full range of service, and we have a ship store as well for any accessories. With having a slip, it's a very great, convenient way to have all of your needs right at one marina. If someone buys a boat from us and needs a slip, they don't have a truck and trailer to pull their boat, we can basically have their boat on the slip. They never have to even touch the boat. They just call us up and say, Mike, we're done with our boat this year. We pull the boat out of the water for them, take it down to storage, then they call us back up in the spring and say, Mike, we'd like our boat down on the slip. They come down here in May, and their boat's ready for them. It's easy use, very convenient.
And that's for this lake. What about all the other lakes where you have operations?
Some of our other marinas also have dockage as well. There are a couple of our marinas that are on land that only offer sales and service, but the majority of our locations are close enough where we can handle your business in any way possible. Almost every marine need you have, Smith Boys can take care of.
And you're here most of the time, all year round.
Yes, we're here 9 to 5, 7 days a week, and then through the winter we shut down for about a month.
And that's when you go away.
Yes.
Where do you go?
I go to Wyoming.
Wyoming?
Wyoming.
They have boats there?
Oh, no, I do some snowmobiling.
Snowmobile?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think if the Smith boys are watching here, this fellow deserves a raise. He really knows, and he's a terrific salesman. And if you were here, he'd sell you a boat at retail price. Right?
That's true.
Good. Come by. Fascinating. They've got a lot of boats here to choose from and pictures of others that you can get anything you want.
Absolutely.
He's a very good salesman. Don't come here without preparing to be sold on something, because he really does a great job.
Well, I appreciate that.
And this is the first time he's sweating because he's nervous. And I told you it's a piece of cake.
It's a piece of cake.
It's easy, isn't it?
Absolutely.
There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Do we need a phone number?
Visit us at www.smithboys.com or call us at 585-374-2384.
And unfortunately, I don't have a www number, so you can't reach me. But we'll see you soon. I'll be out on the lake.
Thank you very much.
Around Town with Henry Dormann will return in a moment.
My name is Joe Veras, and I'm the Chief Meteorologist at WENY. The Twin Tiers is home for me. This is where I live. This is where my family lives. This is where we own our home. This is where my children were born. I love this community. I love the fact that everyone rallies around each other. People know each other. People have each other's backs. I don't think you would see that in some bigger cities. We know each other. We help each other out. This is a great community to live in. This is home.
WENY News, the only local station with a full-time Washington, D.C. bureau, watching out for you.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Life, it never stops moving, getting from here to there, managing long hours at work, juggling a busy home. You need a bank that keeps up. That's Chemung Canal Trust Company. Bank online, bank with our mobile app, deposit a check with your smartphone, open an account at Chemung Canal, and bank with us anywhere, anytime. Chemung Canal Trust Company, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
You're watching WENY HD.
We now return to Around Town with Henry Dormann.
There are so many wonderful organizations that do good things up in our area, Elmira, Corning, in the whole area that the station serves. And one of the most interesting and nicest and most honest is the food bank of Greater New York, at this part of New York. And your name is?
Randi Quackenbush.
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 Quackenbush. That's a name I'll never forget.
Ah.
Groucho Marx made that famous.
I didn't know that.
Didn't you know that? He made a movie, and his name was Quackenbush in the movie, Groucho Marx.
I'll have to look it up.
She was, check it out. And you are what here?
I'm the Advocacy and Education Manager.
Advocacy, and what does that mean?
So advocacy is when we speak up for policies that impact the people we serve. So we're thinking about longer term solutions, you know, programs like the food stamp program, now known as SNAP, summer meals and things like that. So we want to make sure that we're meeting the immediate need for folks that need food, but we also want to think about longer term solutions. So
you're very smart.
I guess. No, I don't know.
I can never forget Quackenbush. He's got to be smart. With a name like that, you've got to be good, right? Now, what the food bank does is to give food away to people who can't afford it. But I just asked, and they give food away to people who can afford it, but hopefully they're honest enough not to say so.
So we serve anybody. If anybody comes to one of our agencies, we are assuming that they are in need. So some folks, you know, it might be a situational instance. Maybe they just lost their job and they show up in a nice car, and people might make an assumption about their current situation, but we don't make those assumptions. And if someone presents themselves to an agency, we assume that they're in need.
But most people are pretty honest, aren't
Yes.
they? Yeah. How nice. Do you like what you do?
I love working here. It's a great organization.
You seem to be so happy.
Oh, thank you.
You got a big building.
Yes, this is our new facility. We just moved into this building in 2011. This used to be the Seneca Beverage Building. Prior to that, we were out on County Road 64. And this facility is about 6 times the size. So our warehouse is 65,000 square feet.
How did you get the money to buy it?
We did a huge capital campaign, a $5 million campaign.
And you got all the money?
Yep.
From the public?
Yep, and from donors, grants, a variety of people, a lot of big donors.
Now, there is a lady who is standing over there looking very important and being in charge.
Uh-huh.
What does she do? And
so that's Ashley. She's our community engagement coordinator. So she does a lot of our media outreach and a lot of our special events. Like we have the Tour de Cuca coming up, the Selfless Elf 5K, and things like that. Yep.
You all work together?
Yep.
She has a magnificent necklace. Unfortunately, it's not real diamonds.
Yes. We are a nonprofit.
I think you have a lot of fun here.
We do. It's a great place. We call it our food bank family.
Do you have to screen people?
To work here?
No, well, I assume they do. But I mean, when they come in and want something, when they want food, how do they get it?
So
do
we
they just walk in?
Yep, we don't actually distribute food here at the food bank. We do 4 times a year a community food distribution out at our warehouse. But if you are in need, you have to go to one of our agencies. So we work in partnerships with 150 agencies, which could be food pantries, meal sites, soup kitchens, and places like that. So we source food donations, and we purchase food sometimes, and they get the food from us. So if you are in need, you actually have to go to a pantry or
This is a logistical situation. I mean, this must take a great deal of detail organization.
Yes, so we have about 40 people that work in the food bank, and then with our partner agencies, over 150 people. They all have volunteers, some have staff. And then we, at the food bank itself, have over 4,000 people that volunteer each year. So we're talking about thousands of people that are involved in this work.
What a good cause. You must be so proud.
It's important work.
It is. Do people know that?
I hope so. We definitely, there's a lot of misconceptions in the community maybe about the reasons that people are needing food assistance and even just what a food bank is. Some people think a food bank and a food pantry are the same thing, but we are, as you'll see, the giant warehouse where we store and source and distribute food. So it is quite a complex.
And do you find the people who come for food, do they really appreciate it
and
yes. know what they're getting?
Oh, yes. Yep, and we want to ensure that we found out that a lot of people rely heavily on, we call this emergency food, So we found in a recent study that more than half of people that come to our agencies come regularly. So we really want to make sure we're getting out the best nutritious food if people are relying on it. So for example, we have some great produce behind us from the Healthy Harvest program. We are purchasing—
This is fresh.
Yes, this is fresh from Addison, from an Amish farm. So we are spending, I think about $80,000, a good chunk of money this year purchasing fresh food from local farms. So it's a win-win. It supports local farms, and we're ensuring—
But all the people who are helping, they ought to be giving it for free. Or is it too much?
It depends. A lot of stuff we get for free, but some things we do have to purchase wholesale. So we do that. About 60% of our food is donated.
Do the big companies out in the Midwest, do they give canned goods and things too?
Yeah, so we are a member of Feeding America, which is the National Food Bank organization.
I never knew about all these things.
Oh, there's a lot to learn. So there are over 200 food banks in the country that are just like us, a big warehouse facility that we're members of Feeding America. And being a member of Feeding America means we can tap into national donation networks. So there's different corporate partners, you know, like Chobani and Yoplait and General Mills. All these big, giant food-producing companies can donate excess product that is not sellable but is still consumable, and they get a tax credit for donating that. So as a member of Feeding America, we can get truckloads of food from all over the country.
America is a nice country. We don't appreciate how much we have.
We have a lot, but there's also a lot of people that are in need, which is, it's a conundrum, I would say.
How do you find them? Do they find you?
Some folks, a lot of it's word of mouth. People can call, you know, an agency like 211, a helpline. If you find yourself in a situation where you might be needing food assistance, you can call 211 and they'll direct you to—
211, just—
Yep.
Have
you heard of 211? So 211, it's you just pick up your phone and you dial 211, and anytime you're needing help, they'll direct you to a service. If it's rental assistance, transportation, food, they'll tell you what's available in your area.
So 911 is emergency and 211 is help.
Yep.
I never knew that either.
Yep. I think it's everywhere in the country, but definitely everywhere in the southern tier. You can pick up
I'm living
211.
gee, I should know all these things.
Well, now you do.
Quackenbush told me. Quackenbush knows it all. Do you live in the area here?
I live in Trumansburg.
Trumansburg, that's pretty far, isn't it?
40 minutes.
Yeah, that close.
Yep.
Seemed to me to be far away.
Yep, so we cover 6 counties as the food bank of the southern tier. Is Broome, Chemung, Schuyler, Steuben, Tompkins, and Tioga. A lot of us live in Chemung County, a few of us live in Tompkins and Steuben, so a lot of us commute here. A couple of us actually live in Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yep, so we cover over 4,000 square miles in our 6 counties, and there's a little over 500,000 people in those 6 counties.
You must love what you do.
I do.
You really look so happy.
Thank you.
and you are such a nice person along with the other people here. What a nice cause. Give them a call if you need help, if you need food. Give them a call if you want to help, because they're always looking for help.
Yeah, so if you want to get involved, we have volunteers in-house here. This is our production room where the majority of our volunteering happens. We have shifts Monday through Friday, and then we also, during the school year, we do some evenings and Saturday shifts. And you can also volunteer at a pantry in your local community. You can volunteer on our mobile food pantry, which is a really exciting program. I'm not sure if you know about that. We have 3 converted beverage trucks that go out and distribute food directly. You know, we'll pull into a parking lot at a fire department or a church, and people can come directly to the truck, and they shop right around the truck. We set it up like a farmer's market style. So that's another great experience to get out and see folks in the community.
Can I volunteer?
Sure.
I'll volunteer.
Okay.
Come by, I might be at the counter.
Okay.
We'll see you soon.
Around Town with Henry Dormann will return in a moment.
Life, it never stops moving. Getting from here to there. Managing long hours at work. Juggling a busy home. You need a bank that keeps up. That's Chemung Canal Trust Company. Bank online. Bank with our mobile app. Deposit a check with your smartphone. Open an account at Chemung Canal and bank with us anywhere, anytime. Chemung Canal Trust Company. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. every day. No matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I'm Renata Steele, the news director and anchor at WENY TV News. This is home for me. I grew up in this area. I went to college here. I got married here. I own my home here. And having my family still here and those connections and those roots that I have here, I think give me a unique perspective and unique understanding about what is important to this community. This is home.
We now return to Around Town with Henry Dormann.
Would you like to know how to catch fish? We've got the solution. We're on Lake Cayuga, and this is the master fisherman who can take you out and make sure you get trout, plus a lot of other things, I'll bet. Right. Now tell me your name.
Tom Beers.
Tom Beers.
Yep.
And you're right here in Hammondsport.
Right.
And how do people contact you?
Bobber's Fishing Excursions.
Bobber's?
Fishing Excursions. They can contact me, email, phone, or on my website.
What's the all that information?
I have it. Just give it to one of the fellows right there.
Now put it on the screen when you talk about it.
Okay, I handed it to one of your fellows there.
Good.
But they can put it on the screen.
Oh, they're very good.
Yeah, okay.
They make us look good.
Do they?
Yeah,
They got a lot of problems making me look good.
This is your boat here?
Yes, this is my boat here. It's a 1984 Penny Ann, made right here in Hammondsport. It's got...
In Hammondsport, not Penny Ann.
Or Penny Ann, excuse me. I'm in Hammondsport. And it's 26 foot long. It's got a 10-foot beam on it. Lots of room. Lots of room for fishing. You can walk around in it. It's very nice.
What's the cost? You up to 6 people.
Right.
You can take for how much?
I can take 6 people, and it's $240 for 4 hours.
For 4 hours for 6 people.
Yes.
And if it's less people, it's charged less?
No, it's still $240.
But you've got to go out.
Paying for the boat, really.
Right.
Yeah.
And then do you guarantee trout?
No, I do not guarantee trout, but you know what? In the 10 years, 11 years I've been doing this, I've only been skunked once.
Really?
Yes, and I fish just about every day.
Now they tell me, you know all of the rumors about the lake and what happens on the lake and all the secrets of the lake, but I heard that right here in Hammondsport, there used to be a ferry that went from Hammondsport around the lake to Penny Ann and would stop off before this. That's when they had horses, before automobiles, and that these were paddle wheelers.
Right.
And that some of them sank right off here.
Right.
And they're right now on the bottom of the lake.
Yes, one of them's a Mary Bell.
That's true then?
Yes. Yes.
Have you
it was sunk right here behind us.
Right here behind us?
Right.
Have you ever gone down to try to find it?
No, because of the soot and everything that's settled down on the lake has covered it up. And I heard that they lifted it up and took it down towards Corning Landing. Some divers did.
Is it still there?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where is Corning Landing?
That is about halfway down the lake on the east side.
That'd be a wonderful sight to see that.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything else that people should know if they come and want to fish with you? They need equipment? Do you supply everything?
I furnish all the fishing poles, the lures. The only thing they have to bring is some warm clothing. I always say bring warm clothing because it's easier to take it off than to put it on if you haven't got it. And in the morning it does get a little chilly.
Yeah.
And I furnish the poles. Everything is furnished, but bring a camera and some rain gear. And
do you start out every day at the same time?
Every day, 5:30 in the morning.
5:30 in the morning?
Yes. Best fishing's early in the morning.
Really?
Yes. If you want to catch fish, you got to be there.
You look like a real fish expert.
Oh, I love to fish. I fished ever since I was a little bitty kid.
And do you have to throw them back, or do you keep it?
Now, if I'm out by myself, I usually throw the fish back. Now, a lot of people, they keep their fish. They're very good eating, especially the lake trout. They come out of the coldness of the lake, And the water temperature on the bottom of the lake stays just about 42 degrees.
Really?
Year round.
Year round?
Mm-hmm. And today it's 76 degrees on the surface.
You measured that, huh?
Yep, I got a little instrument that tells me right on the boat what the temperature is all the way down the lake.
You sound like you have a wonderful time.
Oh, I love fishing, and I love taking little kids. I love to take little kids.
They must be excited when they catch something.
Yes, they are. I tell you, they just go ecstatic. That's a word for it.
Do you have a special rate for kids?
No.
You gotta have the parents along.
Right, right. And furnish their life jackets, all the life jackets on the boat. We get inspected every year, so that takes care of everything. The lights and everything, the horn and everything, that has to be inspected every year.
It's very convenient here in Hammondsport, right on the marina.
Yes, it is.
You can't miss it, and they take such good care of it, and it's so clean.
Yes, it is. Very nice, and the people here are wonderful people. Great.
Now tell me something. I hear that somebody like you that takes people out fishing and is an expert on fishing has all kinds of fantastic stories about funny things that have happened.
Oh yes,
I figured you had.
I can tell you a couple.
Tell us a couple.
Okay.
A couple of fish stories.
One fish story was me and my nephew were out here fishing on the lake, and he caught a fish. And it was a nice fish, but he caught it in the back, and we thought we had the biggest fish in the world. And of course, you know, we started pulling everything in to get it out of the way, got it coming in and everything. And I got laughing when I seen it where he had it hooked, you know. And of course, I got false teeth. I got laughing so hard I spit my false teeth out in the lake. That wasn't the worst part. My boss, who worked at Mercury Aircraft, Bud Mead, went ahead and had this fish mounted and put a set of false teeth in. And he said, brought it up to me, and he says, I caught this yesterday. Yes.
He was quite a guy, good sense of humor.
Yes, he is. He's a good son. He's a good man. Yeah. Good man.
And what's another story?
Oh, there's so many of them. Yeah. They're like little kids there. I had this one little kid, his dad was in Kuwait, and they got off in California, and the mother and the little kid met him out there, and they come all the way across the United States. And he'd been to Disneyland, he'd been to Cedar Point, he'd been to Mount Rushmore and everything, and he come out here fishing with me one day, and he caught a fish probably 8 pounds. And this little boy went ecstatic again. He had this fish wrapped up like this. It was flopping down here, flopping up here, hitting him in the face and everything else. He was high-fiving everybody. And after we got all done, we took him into the dock and everything. And I says, how did you enjoy your fishing trip? And he told me, he says, it's the best time I've had in my life.
Isn't that great?
Yes, and it just made me blow right up, you know.
And you got more of those stories to tell.
Yes, I do.
When somebody comes by.
Right. I have a lot of fun.
He has a lot of fun and a lot of stories. You have to see him when you come by and give him a call, because it's worth really something special going out, especially on this lake, which is not so crowded. You have a real expanse of no boats at 5:30 in the morning.
Right. You're usually the only one out there.
Which is very special,
and
because
you get to see the sun come up over the mountain.
You get to see the sun come up over the mountain. This is worth it too.
Yes, it is.
You are quite a guy, a real fish man.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Mr. Dormann.
Talk to you soon. I'm going to be on his boat. He tells me I can catch a big trout.
Yes.
Big trout. You heard it here. You can catch a big trout too. I'll be here to teach you.
You're watching WENY HD.